takes out all of the forts, pushes all of the lanes, and then the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
What is it that B-Step has to do now with their composition?
It's a very hard scenario. What I'd like to see is forfeit the first turn in. And then look for stacking so much. So you forfeit the first turn in, soak as best as you can. You're going to probably be losing a little bit, probably fort in the first turn in. And then wait to stack a double. So look for the response and buy as much time as you can. Forfeit it over to your opponents. Make sure that you're even in experience. Then get your own turn in as a counter response. Double stack it. And then during one of those two, you have to force the engage. Because you are not winning the macro in the long run. If you get too much, happening for level 1 in the first turn in, on the opposite side with the amount of wave clear they have, you are going to be in a bad spot. It's actually a weird balance of if you focus on doing the map objective that early on, if you don't have your heroics, you're almost never going to get heavy kill potential with their comp, right? So you want to wait till you get your heroics before you get your first turn in. And that is probably going to be giving up a turn in early on. So it's like minimize your losses and then suddenly, just come out guns blazing. And that is what I want to see. Somehow I feel like it's going to be again, those small windows that we see with Naventi was struggling with, and then the game falls out of control.
We're ready for game number 3 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. B-Step and teammate are tied 1-1. Let's see who takes the advantage in the series.
All right, so here, once again, game number 3, even series on the left side is going to be Team 8. And we have Buds playing the Rhaegar. Vala is going to be played by Glarong. Prismaticism is going to be playing Ragnaros. Justing on Johanna, and Yoda playing Tassadar.
Oh, shit. Yoda.
And their opponents in the red, the members of B-Step. With APM playing Malfurion, Greymane played by McIntyre, King Caffeine on ETC, iDream playing Artanis, and K1 Pro playing Sylvanas.
King Caffeine. Shit.
All right, so
the
aggression here, the rotations to the mid lane, everybody's kind of going head-to-head. We'll see if they end up getting the brawl. If they do end up brawling, probably B-Step has a bit better of skirmishing, unless it lasts outside of the initial engage, because Tassadar is pretty good at negating that.
Ragnaros is already set up in the bottom lane, and Greymane has gone down to see this too. So Greymane and Artanis both in the bottom lane. It means that B-Step are one person down here in the mid. So they've got to play this carefully. They still had some damage, but again, knowing that they don't have maybe as much early game damage, they're just separating out to make sure they're in the lanes faster. They don't lose anybody, so they can start right away soaking up experience, trying to get gems for a turn-in.
One thing I learned about this
K1 Pro is going to be, following the response again. B-Step here without the wave clear aggression. They're just going to be looking for picks, and it's all going to come down to probably Cap. Justin moves aggressive, good patience there on the Iron Skin. He waits it out. And it's just the wave clear battle here. It's a lot of what you're going to see in the early games of Tomb, especially with teammates' kind of style of play, or at least what they've drafted in this game. I think you're just going to watch B-Step kind of chasing around teammate, desperate to be able to get those skirmishes that they want. Unless a huge swap into route happens, I think that's the biggest window here for B-Step.
B-Step picked up a lot of talents at level 1 that are hopefully going to help them out, try to keep up with the wave clear of the members of Team 8. Amateur opponent was the grab at level 1 for Artanis, overflowing quiver for Sylvanas too, and even Moonburn this time. So APM switching up his build for Malfurion to help out, make sure that they don't get pushed too hard on the lane front.
Yeah, and just such pretty rotations again. K1 Pro sadly is going to be stuck in this lane. This is hard to deal with and not fun to play against if you're B-Step. It's really the patience you need to have in these scenarios is rather large. And it seems like all 5 members from both teams is going to be collaborating here in the mid lane. But it turns out they're just going to cast a couple spells at each other, be like, hello, and then proceed to return to their original lanes. We do see Rhaegar join Ragnaros in the bottom lane against the solo Greymane, but that means there's a disadvantage in the top lane, which they're going to get the punish. Very well done. iDream with the W.
Oh, why would you grab him like that?
Adjusting the drop is that is the Iron Skin power slide is up. The minute that stops, it's there we go. It ends up going through. Can they confirm it? Sadly, not going to be the case, and K1 Pro is falling solo.
He could have slid the right way and
pulled
got me
all
them
the
back.
members of B-Step and teammate to the mid,
nervous,
but is that troubling?
There's a lot of pressure.
Remember when I talked about having kill potential in your 4-man?
Damage?
that you just had.
It was Johanna though. It was Johanna.
It was Johanna, but anybody else who does damage instantly is going to be a hero who's going to be able to do that. Sylvanas legitimately has W in all of her Qs, and the damage output of that is not that great. Greymane, though, if he was to join, would be a little bit more successful as he does.
Trap that bitch!
And that is going to be a pickup here at First Blood now for B-Step.
It's the difference between Johanna and Vala. You can kill Vala much faster. But if B-Step are the ones who are concerned with late game, knowing that late game is where their strength lies, they have lost soul picked up for Sylvanas. Later on, they can get Cold Embrace. That takes down armor of the target that she throws her dagger on. Artanis will ramp up. Greymane, once he gets Incendiary Elixir, that...
Wait. Fucking wait. Wait till Artanis even late game. Artanis is gonna shine. I don't know. The team comp to me, it seems like.
Thing finished. His damage can ramp up too. So in the late game, maybe that'll go for them there.
No, things get a lot prettier as the game moves on. The problem is again, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. We have to be considering the first couple of levels and how things play out, and especially when you struggle in wave clear like B-Step does. So it's not that there isn't a hope if the game is on even footing. The problem is a lot of the times when you don't have wave clear and you have against teammate and their wave clear, I mean, Europe put it on best, I think, really when it comes to what that can look like. And it's usually 3 levels down in probably a keep.
Right there, they can get those guys right there.
All right, team splitting out in the lanes, just trying to get as many gems as they can. Both have enough for a turn-in. Red Web Weavers will go down first. So B-Step with a very early turn-in, but I wonder if maybe they're just trying to get this so they can use Sylvanas and get ahead enough in this early game that whatever happens in the mid-game until they have that swing in damage, it'll hold out.
That's exactly it. And because of that, though, and using these 50 gems that early, they need value out of the Sylvanas. You can't just be like, well, that would be ideal. There is an absolute must to be able to open up this map a little bit and force a struggle on the side of Team 8. Good stun there. The body block on adjusting. He's not going to be able to make it out there. He condemns in and barely gets the wraparound to keep him alive. Very well done, as that would have been 30 gems going over to B-Step. But you put it exactly what they're looking to do here. They need that value out of the Sylvanas this early on. Otherwise, this team fight focus and skirmish is going to really hurt them.
The swap went the other way from getting Johanna back, but again, it's Johanna. She's so hard to take down. At least they put good damage onto her. And with the Web Weavers in the bottom, it's almost done. B-Step hoped maybe they could bring, turn off the fort and take it out. But with Ragnaros taking over Molten Core, they'll have to say goodbye to any further pressure with their Web Weavers.
Yeah, and when it comes to the questing talents that we have here for McIntyre, he's still not even 50% of the way to be able to secure that bonus damage onto his class, and that is
suffering for a little bit of
for teammate. K1 Pro is going to be able to secure these Knights, help slow down the middle Web Weaver, but teammate really needs to make something happen here with their turn-in. Their composition was focused on snowballing this game out of control for B-Step, and this is the first place to make that happen.
Flowering Justing up in the top. Ragnaros could almost solo push somewhere, but Artanis got a better setup on the bottom Web Weaver, and with amateur opponent should make short work of the Web Weaver. In the top, the rest of the members of Team 8 starting to work down some of these towers along with the Web Weaver. Response from B-Step is good, though. They are responding to wherever Team 8 is. They're trying to save whatever structures they can, knowing that they just need to buy some time until they'll have their own heroic abilities and maybe get a second turn in.
This is the dream if you're a B-Step. Mid, top, and bottom have all been deleted on the side of Team 8, and you're up in experience. You got more out of it. That was what I was talking about with the Sylvanas, that they need to make sure they gain the value. They got far more, and now Team 8 has used all those gems. Yes, they almost have enough for a secondary turn-in, same with the side of B-Step, but their composition was far more focused on how do we win the late game, or the early game, not the late game, whereas vice versa for B-Step. So they are in a pretty spot, and those gems that all just disappeared really hurt teammate.
In the clutch of the Spider Queen. I wonder, though, Ragnaros, he started to come up to the top to help with the rest of the team and push there, and then went back down. In that time, Artanis had put a lot of damage onto the Web Weaver, so it was less damage that he could do. Then he got caught out by a rotation from B-Step. giving B-Step heroic abilities first now and Web Weaver. So this is going well for B-Step for sure.
Oh, it's pretty much the dream, to be honest. The draft such a composition versus the Johanna Vala Tassadar. And being ahead this early on, and now having a secondary turn-in coming in, all I'm looking to do now is I would just be buying time, not let them abuse their wave clear. I'd be like, all right, we're going to take the fight what our comp excels at, and we're going to make sure that these other web weavers, you know, they get babied in purely on the fact that I know you cannot take me in a skirmish for Team 8, and it looks like they're going to do that, and the choice is through top lane.
Have to point out, Purifier Beam for Artanis instead of Suppression Pulse. The first time we've seen this in HGC so far. The source of pushing will be in the top lane. King Caffeine jumps into, gets stopped out of Mosh Pit. That'll be a backup in a few seconds.
Yeah, and it's doing, teammate's doing a really good job again. Look how much damage they can put at a pretty safe area. It's good swap on the Glowing. The power slide is going to come up there. Good clean, stopping not only the root, but also the power slide buds there, keeping Glorong up. And the rotation from Ragnaros here, Prismaticism, looked like they wanted to aggress on to B-Step, but they're going to be on the retreat. So that was a nightmare worth of a turn-in if you're in B-Step's position. It was looking so pretty until they didn't get anything out of that.
Purifier Beam is on Justin, but ETC just stops in his tracks and is destroyed.
Oh, man.
And the Purifier Beam can chase Justin all he wants, but it's Johanna. She's
like moving my mouse like I'm playing the game and shit.
B-Step have been pushed back. Only mid went down. B-Step went so long in the top lane. Ragnaros clearing out bot and then mid. That's what Team 8 needed. They are right back into this. They're tied up in experience. They're the ones who have the gems for a turn-in, and B-Step can only just keep trying to delay, which they are set up in a position to do so. It's just whether or not they can.
Yeah, Team 8 are now kind of pulling the game back into their control. Very well done. B-Step has to be effective with their turn-ins, just again, because the control that they do not possess in their hands. Team 8 now, if they manage to get this turn-in, I hope to see them get more than we had seen out of the first one. That kind of hesitation that they have, I feel that their comp is far more terrifying than they give themselves credit for. And we'll see if they push towards that, as 13 is being achieved here for B-Step in a matter of seconds for Team 8 as well.
What do you think of the Purifier Beam?
I don't like it. I only like it in situations where you either have a support that has two targets they have to be overly concerned about, or where you have a target that's just so low in health naturally and they want to stand still, like kind of like in rare Chromie scenarios where she's like, she wants to stand still and cast, but if she does that, she eats quarter of her health pool. Whereas Vala's going to have Tassadar shields all day. Rhaegar has pretty easy healing out there for everybody else. So
the blind.
But the blind wouldn't get that much value. It would get some. I don't know if I agree with the choice here so far on the Purifier Beam.
Big swap on Glowing. Cleanse used pretty early on, but it gets Glowing back into position with the team. First of all, hits King Caffeine, who goes right back into the fight. Remember, Mosh Pit is here. Teammate,
Artanis, do something, man. You dancing like a little bitch.
Too pumped up.
Jesus.
The channel here started by Yoda. He should be able to get that in as Cap and
help your
B-Step are trying to stop that. There's another swap onto Prismaticism, but Ragnaros is not really the easiest kill target, especially post 13. But that is going to be the
the jump and the dance. There it is.
Dream comes in, only hits one, but already go for throw. Getting the proc onto Glorong, the response kill. Ragnaros ends up going down, and suddenly B-Step here just turns it up.
Ancestral Healing wasn't able to hit in time,
like,
but
you should just fight. Don't be a pussy.
B-Step gets 3 kills for nothing.
And that's the video I should totally make for YouTube. How to not be a fucking pussy in this game. Like, you were dead anyways.
And this brief period of time with no
Rhaegar or
Ragnaros,
or blow down half their mana or something.
For B-Step so that they can take down the first kill.
He just gave 3 hits to the enemy.
To be able to ensure that Mosh gains value is very well done here.
Especially fucking Tassadar. Look at him.
Savannah's pick up here. Cap, though, is going to get caught out. How many are they going to lose is the question. Now a hand Mcknight is going to be next to fall. Purifier Beam used as I Dream is going to be dreaming he wasn't on that side of the map in a matter of moments, but they give up on that, seeming like they're going to put more concern towards the turn-in in a boss play. This is very risky. Vala is going to be able to get the start.
They are going to go for it. That shit ain't risky. That's what you're supposed to do. 2 are dead. That's what you're supposed to do. That's a pro move right here. Ain't no risk at all, man.
Too much instead. They're going to say, we got Sylvanas, we'll get bottom forward instead. Not a bad trade, because it's not like that boss is going to be anything really too concerning, especially with 16 talent here.
Exactly. 16 talent here. Fourth still there. it would have been even riskier, potentially
I thought they
leading
meant risk like they're
into
gonna get
more
ganked. Maybe I misheard them.
staggered death timers of B-Step. Heroic abilities
Well,
were down. It just
totally,
wasn't the best
And they
case
turned
for
in
them
the
to even
blue
have the clean
stacks. There
defense
you
of
go.
not having everybody.
Yeah, just
now
fucking
B-Step
just push.
can regroup, go back,
There you
defend
go.
at fort.
Level
Hopefully
15,
not, or defend at
they
keep.
easily
Hopefully
could
not
take
lose
that fort
keep.
right
But
there.
with 16, they could look to try to start a fight.
They can go
even
right to the
behind
core right
boss
now.
once they
They're
get
not
that
going to
tier.
touch the
The
core
biggest
much.
struggle here for
but
Teammate
they
is the
will
fact
get
that
to the
top lane
core
is the
here.
only web weaver that's really going to net any game for them. And they need that 16 talents here. I expect Cap to try and move past them,
This
force this
help
fight
your
before they're able to
fucking
pick up the
boss.
16.
Dude, stop
But
dancing
we'll find
behind
out.
it.
Power slide was used, and since it didn't hit
Jesus,
anybody,
really?
Teammate's going to proceed to move up here. If this keep falls, that is going to be 16 talents here.
There it
just
is.
barely out of range, actually. And the force on the swap
Here
is
comes
going
the
to
team
happen.
fight.
Swap
Watch
happened
out.
numbers.
He's going to
Madison
dance.
uses his blast
Don't
wave to get
stand
that
there.
power slide into Moss.
Jesus
Again,
Christ.
three
How can
cleanse
you?
to keep it
Oh
going.
my
Back.
God.
Ragnaros drops.
Are you
Beam helped to
fucking
pick up
stop
that kill.
running?
Glaring
Fight.
with
This
an
is
ancestral healing.
it.
Justin's way in the back.
Fight.
Just trying to buy time for his team.
Oh my
2
God,
kills so far,
you
and
noobs.
B-Step continues the flank.
Really?
Nice.
Come on.
K1 Pro uses Haunting Wave to go back
They
in.
blew their
Toss
Rs
it out.
already.
The
Use
only
your guys'
person
Rs.
maybe that B-Step could get another
Here's
kill on. Does he
he's
have
dead.
questions up?
I think he
It
does.
does.
There's
Leave
gonna
him.
be
He's
hit force
fucked,
walls on
dude.
cooldown. He
You're
just
gonna
got
join him,
interrupted, I
yeah.
think. Nope, not. Very well done, Cap. With
Oh
Sylvanas
my
gonna be able
God,
to
you guys are
disable this and then
pathetic.
move up.
How
This
do
should
these
be
people even
another
become
keep wall
pro?
going down, possibly a keep. I don't think they have enough
Oh
time
my
for
God,
that.
if only I
But
could
there's
clone
really
myself.
nothing else for B-Step to be able to do here other than infuse that beautiful
Oh
passive. that
my
Sylvanas
God,
has
it was
there.
so obvious
break
that
the wall
fucking
and do the
ETC
exact
was
same thing
going
they
in
did
for
before,
that.
maybe?
How to fight
We do
ETC?
see Ragnar
By the way,
using
for those of you who don't
the
know,
it's a huge
don't
cooldown
stand
that part now,
together.
considering the fact
Period.
that, B-Step
And
is
that's what they did. They
nearing
were
the
all
ability
coupled
to
there,
have
so
a
I
complete
said it right
turn-in.
away.
That's gonna
Boom,
be
slid in, hit his
a
ult,
cooldown they
raped
wish
the
they
whole
had in a
team.
matter of moments here. As long as bottom gets
After
babied,
that,
on
they
the
all
side
just
of
fucking
B-Step,
ran
somebody
like a
go
bunch of
down
little
there, give it
bitches.
a
I
quick
mean,
clear,
I guess that's
concentrating
all
onto
you
the
can
turn-ins.
do,
And if they
but
can do that before that comes out,
I'd rather
that's
just
gonna be
fight
another
it. You're
keep
gonna
with
die
Sylph.
anyways, which
It would
clearly
have
it
been
proved
nice
my
to take
point.
out top keep to
All they did is just
mitigate
give the
any
enemy free
catapult
kills.
pressure there for
At
B-Step.
least at that point, if
But
you're all
getting
gonna
a
die,
turn-in
you can kill one or two of the
Very
enemies.
nice too. K1 Pro has those final 9
Look
gems.
at this
King
way.
Caffeine
All 5 of you are gonna die no matter what, right? But you have a chance to kill 1 or 2 of them. Take those deaths to kill them.
And now
That's gonna help you. Look at the level advantage they got now because of that shit.
You know, bottom lane here is sadly
Look at
not
that.
to be cleared quick enough, I don't believe. Actually, it will.
Ah,
It will at least be
despicable,
halfway.
man.
I can't help but feel like B-Step had the time to really, you know, make sure that all the web weavers were kind of passing over 50% of the map here. Teammate tried to force something, but it wasn't near enough.
let's get back
Either
to
way,
this
though,
shit.
B-Step has a lot of things going for them right now, as for the first time, Teammate seems like they're the ones who are like questioning, hey, maybe we should try and initiate on them instead of letting iDream do these pretty swaps.
Well, he's trying for another one of those pretty swaps. Hits 2. Glaurung takes half of his health bar and damage, but B-Step is the problem. Goes down even before Sulfur's finish hits. Ancestral healing.
Do
just in
something.
time to
Look,
keep
he's
his asses
dancing.
alive from
He's going
Pure
in. He's
Beam.
like, fuck
And
this
with
shit.
iDream down for
He's like, want
46
some,
seconds.
player?
This is a disastrous turn-in for B-Step.
Yeah, B-Step just wants to try and keep them busy, though, so there's not a free clear
One
on
down.
these web
Do
weavers
something
that
with
do
it.
remain.
One's
Top has already
down,
been
people.
removed.
Don't
Bottom
let him
is
come
just
to
now gonna
life.
be
Do
attended
something
to,
with it.
And B-Step really just, the overextension there on iDream looking for that
5v4
play.
right now.
It's
You
really
can totally
gonna,
push whatever you want.
waste those 60 gems that they had turned in right before this, and not something they necessarily can let happen too easily. Luckily, with the Sylvanas pickup, they're kind of, you know, forgiven the lack of wave clear that they have in their composition. They always have the opportunity. If we win the fight, we could look for lethal.
One's dead.
But they gotta, you know, gotta
It's
get this
5v4
cleanup
at
here
all
on a couple
times.
of those
You always can
initiations
push
here if they're gonna be able to pull out a
something.
win.
There's nothing the
Because
enemy
we're
can
still
do.
tied in this series, no
You
matter how
outnumber them,
convincing
and
at
that's just
times
how
it may
it
be for one team or another.
But the late game damage is definitely in full effect for B-Step. Executioner was the pickup for McIntyre on Greymane, and he has Incendiary Elixir finished. Psionic
Now you're totally
plus
not in your
Golden
advantage. All the
Graces, two
minions
different
are
ways to
rocking
add
you here. You're on
vulnerability,
their shit.
reduce armor from somebody.
Split up.
So
ETC's
even
getting
Justin
ready.
as Johanna could be
Waiting for it.
problematic if she starts to get her health bar low. iDream ever
Waiting for
looking
it.
for a swap for his team.
Yeah, Wailing Arrow is going to be coming up here in 9 seconds. The rest of the heroics are available, minus Ancestral Healing up in 15. Nobody has the turn-in. Boss is not up, and those are the 2 win conditions onto this map other than a beautiful wipe. So you can see the team's kind of, you know, just slowly gathering the gems. A teammate really wants to get rid of that middle 4. It's such a crutch to be able to have if you're B-Step because it's close to both the turn-ins and it's an easy retreat route. Anytime they get in a skirmish that might look a little too ugly, you know, just back out to your middle 4. You're going to be fine. That is not something that teammate has if, you know, things get ugly too fast.
Especially right now where B-Step just want to get to 20. They know teammate are looking for a fight, but as long as they don't allow it, B-Step soon will have 20-tier advantage, and that's even further amount of time where a teammate are starting to get to the point where they could get a turn in. Their gems are starting to get up there, and if they can't be on the same talent tier, then that's just more time that B-Step can start looking maybe at the boss instead.
Is it too soon to say, well, B-Step could just get 20 and feign the boss and look for a fight?
No, I don't think so. 20's here. They might not even need to feign for the boss if teammate can't get out of here.
Yeah, teammate now on full
retreat. Jesus Christ.
The Giants are pressuring out, and somebody on B-Step's probably going to be looking to get clear.
That's a bad
when it comes to the
positioning
turn-in, though,
there.
teammate is still, it's pretty even, actually, and the control. So the boss bait is going to be real. They're going to try.
They're going in.
By the way, that was a bad
They're going for the boss.
Too soon to
no, that's fucking gangster.
Because last time this happened, they completely lost the game off that decision.
Oh, they got this time.
Wrong, but teammate doesn't have 20 yet. It is a long way away, and B-Step will pick up a boss now to march
too busy
toward
down there
another peak
jerking
for
off.
teammates.
Oh my
He
god.
was actually pulling, he was fainting. Oh, he was questioning if they were going to be backdooring to the keep on bottom there for a moment.
Oh my god.
This is a potential for lethal, especially with Sylvanas.
Go tank it, player. Go in there.
So they're just feigning the channels there on the backs. And now, once they see their opponents, they're going to be good to pick off this fight.
There you go. Yeah, make it rain, Ragnaros.
But once he goes down, if they manage to get rid of him quick, Sylvanas should be able to ensure the rest of this keep.
Come on, bitch.
Watch for a swap. Molten Core is almost done. iDream starting to get into a position to look Justing's not the prime target for that.
I wonder if there's a reason why. Maybe this other move is just better.
To see if anybody is
so much cooldown on that shit.
In a good position for them to be able to swap into the base.
Wow, I'm impressed with how well the defensiveness there, or defense out of Prismaticism was there, to be able to deter that. And then Giants on bottom almost gain equal value as to what Sylvanas and that boss did.
No siege down there though, is actually making it work.
Now full retreat here for B-Step. The turn-in is not in reach yet.
It's going for the core. There it goes down
trying to get a free channel. We'll see if Dream gets a swap. Just gonna go for the Ras.
Here it comes.
21 turned in for teammate, 24 for B-Step. This next turn in.
Oh, fuck! You gotta fight. Help him.
From getting back to the team.
Fight. Oh, the dance. Oh, no.
Purifier Beam does too. Torbus hits a bunch of people on team 8, but
they're immune. They didn't do shit, player.
iDream goes too.
She know what the fuck she's talking about. Dude threw the immobilized shield. Tassadar to the rescue there.
People are already dead as well. Middle lane is the only one that really is going to be a struggle for for Team 8. But that is a huge swing. That team fight just win everything against B-Step.
Go ahead, man. You guys got 2 of them are down. Push.
Split pressure with top weapon.
2 of them are down. Wait up, girl. Johanna, slow down.
Hesitation threatening towards the core.
Oh, damn, she's going in.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be pretty easy. But there is a small moment where they might be able to get punished as long as Glorong ends up going down or Buds. Those are the 2 targets you're looking for if you are B-Step.
Heroic difficulty was the choice of pickup at level 20. That's more damage.
That damn wolf, if he oversteps, fuck his couch.
The Molten Core already, the core is
it's
at
done.
50%.
Done.
Falling.
Done.
Just trying to bring down somebody. Take
out good job.
But they can't do it. And with a great team fight, Team 8 makes sure to secure the victory on
nice job there.
I want to highlight Buds because there was one Ancestral that didn't connect in time, but otherwise the swap was always on Prismaticism, and he was able to keep him alive through the Purifier Beam, everything else every time, and that was integral to them being able to get through the first swap phase of that.
Yeah, he did a really good job making sure that he didn't get picked off. Like, anytime that you have, like, the Stitches hook or the Artana swap, having the positioning of being close enough that if it happens, you are there to be able to heal them, but not so close that you're going to be the threat yourself is a very difficult line to walk, and he did it pretty well throughout that entire game. And I'm also calling it that it just seems like every game we've seen out of B-Step so far, whoever wins the early game loses the game. It swaps every single time. It's just like, well, they're going to struggle a little bit. If they're winning it, there's no way they're going to be able to win the game. It's just, I've never seen so many like back and forth, just complete different changes of the tides, really.
Very weird to see, but that does put Team 8 2 games up over B-Step. When we return, we'll see if they can close it out. See you guys soon.
Now we're going to take like an hour break, aren't we?
teams are the toughest frag magnets in the galaxy.
Yeah.
But when they're in trouble, guess who they call? Winning a battle is more than just shooting enemy soldiers.
Oh god, gay ass tobacco
As if
commercials.
smokers need more reasons to quit.
Oh my
Research
god, this is
shows
the most
smokers earn
research.
less.
I want to see this fucking research. Because people I work with all smoke and they make more than I do, so. And I'm not a smoker, so. In fact, they make about 10,000 plus more than I do a year, so. I want to see this damn research where they come up with this. Anyways, you guys, for those who don't know who I am, if you're just joining now, welcome. It is Drunk FX. Definitely enjoying us. So the tournament battle, the Heroes of the Storm. You guys know it's like the main game. Of course, if I was up in there, we'd be winning more, but hey, gotta sit back and watch. If you guys want to check out my videos, go ahead. You can clearly see how I just murk people.
But in truth, I hunt with family. One that I hold close.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question, player.
They protect me.
Run! Bunch of pussies.
I am Rexar, champion of the Horde. And I never hunt alone.
Run, bitch, run! Nuclear launch. That's what's up, man. It's a nice little map right there. I really think, though, that this game needs to sit down, look at some of the old people that got dropped at the beginning. They need a rework. Specifically, Zeratul. When this game first came out, he was feared. Now he ain't shit.
I was once a far strider. I swore an oath to defend Silvermoon and its people to my dying breath. It was not enough. My homeland still burned.
Arthur's fucked your couch, bitch.
But those days are long past.
Great. Noob.
And history will not repeat itself.
Like, back off, player.
I am Sylvanas Windrunner, Queen of the Forsaken.
Yes.
And if you will not serve me in this life,
You will die.
then you will do so in the next.
Yes. Join or die. They got some really cool characters. Obviously, we all know Blizzard has always brought, after all these years, oh my god.
Important thing
Guy's a pimp. Fucking alcoholic.
Life is an adventure. I mean, have you seen this Nexus place? There's limitless worlds to explore. Constantly new things to see. Ew. Sure, there's danger too. What's an adventure without a little action? Oh, I can help with that. I am a Storm Scout after all. And for Storm Scouts, life is an adventure.
I never really picked her. I'm sure I probably control hard with her.
Welcome back to the Heroes
doesn't
Global
seem like she
Championship
does much
in
though, you know?
NA. Team 8 is 2 games up over B-Step. B-Step have 1 game in the series. And I'll be honest, that's not what I was expecting to see.
I don't think anybody would go into that series and be like, well, you know, I think that B-Step's probably going to be struggling here with how amazing of the players and the history behind this roster, and then knowing that, you know, that core group is moved on and got rid of, again, Prismaticism and Glaurung from the roster.
Oh,
I don't think anybody looked at the duo of Glaurung and Prismaticism and goes, you know what, they're going to make the huge comeback here. And it's been pretty impressive so far. It's a weird line of like, was that, you know, is that them stepping up, or is that B-Step, you know, kind of the slow downfall that we've seen coming out from them? But I honestly think that teammates going to take the series. B-Step has not impressed.
No, it's so weird to see, but this early game consistently has been such a problem for B-Step. We're going to have our draft very soon. We'll also know the battleground. Before we do that, we got a tweet for you. Thank you so much for talking to us using the hashtag HGC. It's from Focused
For he
Hots.
first time.
I'm gonna make sure to say that right. Sorry if not. Tuned into HGC for the first time. Have to say I'm a fan of B-Step. Incredibly fun to watch and insane playmaking. And yes, they have on paper so many playmaking players. K1 Pro. There are so many things to say about him, right? Mcknight too. King Caffeine as a warrior, he will 1v4 people and come out on top. All of them have the potential.
Artanis.
So what's the holdup?
Before the update.
I mean, the real answer to that, obviously, I don't have, but my first thought is definitely, so looking at their history, they've never played in a unit, like in a team where they've had an official shot caller. Never has that been the case. They've always had a different assortment of somebody would be a little bit more talkative than the rest, but overall, everybody kind of, you know, gives a little bit input here and there, and they've never had that final voice. The first person to kind of step away from that was Fan, then later we had Dunk Train, and I think it's just been that every single iteration of those extra players coming into, either, I don't know if the respect isn't there in terms of their communication or the voice, or if, I just think a lot of it comes down to nobody is the final say. And it's slowly showing that it can backfire, I guess.
That will.
Well, now,
it's all hesitant when shit's
one game
the
away
fan.
from losing this series. We'll see where they choose to go. If it is their battleground choice, being the loser of the last game, they can either choose to have first pick or the battleground choice. For them, it has been battleground choice for them before. Cursed Hollow was the first map we went to, and then after that, Battlefield of Eternity and Tomb of the Spider Queen, and sticking with what they have done before, B-Step are going to Sky Temple, which they chose versus Gale Force Esports and lost the game last night.
Yeah, and historically they are such a successful team on Sky Temple. The thing that really stands out to me is that they're still choosing the map, which means they don't think it's a draft problem. They genuinely think that it's just like, well, that's not really our map, even though it's been their choice. They don't think that it's going to be a draft problem. So if it going into a third time that we see them going for the map, I think that we're going to see a major step in a different direction when it comes to you know, the prioritization of heroes.
Let's recap what happened versus Gale Force Esports on Sky Temple because it's important for history.
Yeah.
They went into Sky Temple and they were behind again, the objectives, every single objective phase. But then they started to get ahead, and then they went for a boss play that ended up being a huge risk, got taken away from them by Gale Force Esports, and lost them the game.
Yeah, it was a very tragic moment there, a game that you never really knew if they were going to have a chance to take it back, and the second they did, it instantly slipped from their grip here. But Team 8 with the Tassadar ban. B-Step, is it going to be the Artanis? Is it going to be Ragnaros? Is it going to be Malfurion ban? Could be any of those three. Ragnaros has been something that's difficult for them to be able to deal with, and their Artanis hasn't necessarily been the most successful of heroes. And they're probably the highest drafted number, at least on Artanis itself.
Yeah, they have a lot of Artanis picks.
And then they would just crush
One thing they also were picking a lot was Varian, although we haven't seen any so far this series. They banned Artanis last night versus Gale Force Esports when in this exact same position of second pick.
Pretty confident saying Artanis was their team player, and Sylvanas for sure.
They have to be thinking, what does Glau want to play here?
But
with Tassadar removed, I think it's got to be Medivh, right? When
I agree.
A lot of the heroes that he's going to be playing, it's either that or Zeratul. It's that. Yeah, it could be Ragnaros. That's a good point too. It could be Ragnaros, it could be the Zeratul, it could be the Medivh. Medivh's the removal. I agree with you in the sense that I think banning the Ragnaros would have been probably better there. I expect Team 8 to insta-lock the Ragnaros again. Not surprising.
So Artanis here? Malf Artanis again?
I don't want to see the Artanis. I feel like we're going to, but I really hope that they don't. I think if they do pick the Artanis, or if they pick Artanis, I actually don't see them picking Malf. I genuinely feel like they don't, even though Malf objectively is considered one of the highest prioritized, and they have shown it, I think that on Sky Temple, I do expect them to step away from it. Last time we saw them go with the Brightwing, I just feel like I can see them using that as like, you know, they don't feel like the Malfurion is as impactful in the last game. Like I said, you know, they've picked the map over 3 times in a row now, right?
Yes.
They have to make a change somewhere, and I feel like Malfurion is going to be the first step, that they're going to just drop that, and they're going to look at something else, and it's probably going to be a Brightwing.
You think it'll still then be something like Brightwing Artanis, or maybe will they leave support until later on?
Yeah, it could. They could wait.
Yeah, Gale Force focused on supports in one of the game, banning them down to put APM on Karzim, and Karzim, APM did just fine on Karzim. So if they want other things, like Tychus or Tannis, they could do that.
I would have preferred to see the Li Ming over the Tychus. I think it's a high-impact hero for K1 Pro. It's one of her better maps as well. That's what I would have liked to see, but Tychus is very, very powerful. Again, we brought it up in the earlier drafts here in this series, is that North America has a big old question mark on where he belongs, and for now, it's going to be towards the top of this draft. Malfurion now locked in for Team 8, and the next pick is going to be
not
Diablo.
Used to fucking fighting.
No, it's going to